Hello everyone. Is Carlos here? Is Rip Gold here? Who else? Who else from last class? Who joined last class? Say something. Say I did. All right. So everyone who did join, can you guys let me know? Have you guys experienced anything from it? Like it going the right direction that you aim for and it didn't break a certain zone? Can you guys type something while we wait so I know what you guys have done? No one is writing anything. Who wants to talk? Who wants to open their mic? Who can talk? Who wants to talk? Paul, you want to talk, Paul? Since you attend every class, let's unmute Paul. We are waiting for people to join right now. Sore throat. Okay. Okay, I think we can start. I think we can start now. The zones most of the time are respectful 90% of the time, so it's working nice. That one is not it's not my style. Kiniri asks, hi Joe, why is your SL very wide? If I were to trade, my SL would be 10-20 pips usually. Okay, let's start. Can everyone hear me well? Is it clear? Is it clear? All right. Okay, let's try analyzing. And today, okay, today's lesson, let's start off with today's lesson first. So the first, what we have learned. Okay, number one, the first week, who remembered what we learned? We learned multi-time frame, all right? This is for you to understand each time frame movement and understanding the buyers and sellers price zone. Price zone. Okay. And then the second week, we had two class on this one, class 1 and class 2. Both video is available. You just have to ask Jack. And then on the second week, we learned high rejection zone. This one is to know which zone are very strong we did this by switching to line chart, remember? And then once we already labeled the zone, we use multi-time frame understanding to help us understand each time frame movement and the price zone for buyers and sellers in the smaller time frame. Okay. And then for this week, we are going to learn about M1 and M5. This is what is it doing inside the zone. So we are going to learn in detail what happens if it moves like this, what happens if the shape is like this. So different shape, different time. So we're going to understand deeper on the smaller time frame movement because we want a sharp entry and fast action entry also. Meaning after we enter, it moves straight away. So it doesn't stay long. So it means we can straight away think of putting break even after it flies or something. Okay, so that is what we're going to learn today, mostly on M1 and M5. So any questions, guys, before we start? Let me read the chat. Any questions? Right, guys, right. Don't just stay quiet. Any questions? Everyone is hearing me, right? Because, yeah, no one's typing. Okay. So, based on multi-time frame, number 2 is high rejection zone. So high rejection zone, we change to line chart. Once we have the line chart, we know all the important zones, correct? Once we already label a few strong zones for selling and buying, we will check multi-time frame to see what is the zone doing inside here. Is it strong? Is it at strong opening candle? After it open, it falls straight away, so it's a strong opening. Sell. And then what else we can check? We can check volume. If it goes to that area, does it stay long or no? So things like that we can check. Once we check and everything, if we can say it's a good buying and selling zone, after we firstly did number 2, and then number 1, if both is saying the same thing, then there's a possible entry. But when to entry and where? So we would need M1 and M5 understanding for us to decide if we want to enter or not, or when to enter or where. Okay. So to start off, let's just let me read some comments first. Let me read some comment. It's a spammer. Question, Jack, do you also trade and go with the same SL? Yes, sometimes I don't put SL, but it shouldn't break like this zone, for example. So if it breaks a little, I just cut, maybe 5 pips. But sometimes I put an SL of 20 pips just to make sure that it doesn't suddenly move in peak volume, you know? Is it lagging a bit? Volume and down. Can you guys hear? Is it lagging or no? Can anyone hear me well? Or it's lagging? Should be fine. Okay. All good. So let's ask, for example, try to analyze. For example, we take gold. So we would firstly open weekly. Okay, this one I'm just going to analyze really fast, but you guys should know and practice using line chart, labeling, But right today, this class is focused on M1 and M5, so I'm just gonna skip and just analyze really fast on the important zone. Okay. Just practice on what we have learned. Later on, you should understand where to label. I'm just labeling a few first, just to know the zones, but I'm focusing in daily now. So I know that daily has tested down here. So after it tested, it bounced really high up and it's at this zone. This zone has fell before. This zone flew from here. So there's something around this zone. He shouldn't break if he wants to fly, correct? And then what else we can know from here? That this is a very strong selling area. Okay, over here, it fell. And then over here, it fell again. Over here, it flew. So we know that there's like something over here as well. We need to be aware of. If it wants to fly, it needs to break. And yep, so that's it. I will now put back weekly. I'm going to delete this one, delete this one. The top, I'm just going to leave it first. Then I'm going to see H4. After H4 has flew from here, broke this level. So this zone becomes a strong place it cannot break for it to fly. And then there's a support here, support here, support here. So there's another zone, a proven zone over here. Okay, and then it fly, fly, fly. So now this zone is a strong buying zone. Okay, so but for it to right now it has flew from here, and flew from here. So there's a big chance it wants to come up here to test this sell zone. But at this level right now, there is some sellers. So let's just label all seller zones. Let's just put red color. I know a different color. Let's just put purple. Is everybody following? Because today I want to focus on M5 and M1. That's why I'm not really explaining really slow. So once I label this zone, I know that, okay, it might reject here or it might break. So there's nothing else I need to see from this time frame. I can continue to lower time frame. So I know for it to fly, it has to break this level, this certain zone here, between these two lines. Let's see our buying zones. Shouldn't break this level. But of course, the stronger buying zone would be here or here. But this one could be a buying zone as well. But just be careful. SL very small. If it comes in this zone, maybe our SL would be 10, 20 pips. 20 pips. Okay, but it's approaching a resistance zone. Now I want to label the next place it cannot break is over here, but it already flew. So if we were looking for a buy, it just cannot break back this opening candle here. So okay, doesn't matter. Now I'm done with the analysis. Maybe last time frame I would check M30 just to double check. Another strong selling zone here. So yeah. So let's see 15. Okay. Now we already label our zones. Let me read the comments first. Please can make your background white. It's better to be black. So for clarification, why did we decide to take a cell and leave it instead of but that one is Jack's signal, not mine. So it's hard to say. Every trader has a decision. For example, when it comes here, some people wants to sell the sell zone, but we know that there's another sell zone here. So it could easily break and come up to the next sell zone because I was buying from here. So that's why I'm hoping you guys practice and learn so you guys can actually do it by yourself and decide and compare with signals so you guys have a better understanding and flip. So let's see. This is M5. So I'm going to see, let me just see M30 first. So I'm done with my zones, right? We label our zones. Let me put give me some time. I'm just trying to label the important zones because right now we have let me check. Yeah, so I think I can remove this one. Why? Because the fail happened from here, the buy happened from here, and the U-turn happened from here. So it's a stronger one. Over here, it's too high. See this one. Yeah, mostly it's at this level. See, if it doesn't break this level, it will not fall. If it breaks, it falls. Compared to the purple, it's too high. So I prefer the green one. So I'm going to remove this one. So this is just after you're done with your big time frame analysis. And then you adjust it in M5, M30 to a better level. So now M30 is going to reach here. Okay, let's just see how far, how many pips is it? 10 pips, almost 20. Okay, even if you want to take the buy, we have to check. If we want to take this buy, our risk cannot put over here because it's too far, not worth it. It's going to be 30 pips. So if we want to expect this buy to happen now, we have to put our SL just below this opening over here. So probably like 10 pips. Yeah, like 10 pips. So let's see. Okay. Yeah, but it's not a really nice place to enter because even if we enter here, the resistance is here, the support is here. So it's so close. So for like 10 pips of SL, only for 20 pips because it's too close. But if this place doesn't exist here and only here, so it's worth it. For 10 pips, you could get almost 100 pips. So it's worth it. But this one, I still feel like there's a chance for it to fly. If you guys want to try, you, for example, could enter here and put SL like maybe here, 15 pips, 10 pips. Because this would be a breakout setup then. Breakout up, not, we are buying at like near a resistance, so we expect it to just break. Because over here, if it wants to fall, usually probably it want to come to this resistance. Instead of just falling here, it wants to come to this resistance. So that's why even if you want to enter buy right now, we only have until this resistance. Let me check the comments. Still in a sell. Okay. Okay, then yeah, because it's not a signal from me, it's from Jack. So I don't know. You guys have to decide. But for me, it still has a big chance for it to fly up, because I trade based on strong zones like this, explosive zones. Because people would think of a sell, but for me, it already respect a big buyer zone and flew. Then it didn't take long until it flew at another buyer zone, and then it flew at another buyer zone. So now it's at a buyer zone. So if it flies up, I don't think this resistance can have a lot of effect. So it will just break and maybe come up here and U-turn. So are you guys understanding what to do actually? So after you analyze big time frame until small time frame, you have to put some filter and lines here. For example, I know from here, this is a strong buying zone. It just needs to break this one. And since H1 just opened and it's at above the buying zone, so as long as this H1 doesn't come to the opening, it'll not turn red. So it'll just turn green as long as it doesn't come below here. So that's why our SL would be just 10 pips over here. Okay. Anyone has any questions on the, because I don't know you guys, how much analysis have you done, you know, since the previous class? I don't know how many times you have labeled on the charts. I don't know how accurate your labels are. So things like that. So if you can ask here, ask right now, because you have to be a bit talkative and chat. Ashwani, this is technically what I'm teaching. You can technically use these zones as scalp zones. Okay? Technically, even if we want to swing, we would need a scalping zone. For example, we enter buy, straight away profit. Scalpers would just TP. But swingers, if they already know this is a strong buy zone, when it's blue, they are holding it for longer term. So their lot size is smaller, but scalpers, they can enter the same zone. So, but their lot size is big. So even if it flies up 10, 30 pips, they would want to TP. But the swinger would just hold. What I'm actually having issue with is getting the zones. Okay. Have you, Shofola, have you practiced what I've taught in the previous class from the line chart and then move on to labeling? Yeah, Andra. What are the things to look at to get a better zone? So technically, when you want to get good zones, for example, these zones I labeled, I didn't use line chart, but if I switch to line chart, if my zones are all in the pointy areas, so it is correct. See, for example, this one time pointy, 2 time pointy, flew. And then this one, for example, this small green one inside. There's one pointy there. There's one pointy here, see? Two pointy. And when it broke this pointy, it dropped from here. For example, this area, if we switch to candlestick, see, it dropped from this area. So our area is correct, labeled. Okay, and this one on the top. If I switch to line chart, it is, see, 1, 2, a little bit higher, 3. So, but after a while, after your you understand line chart very well, you don't have to use line chart. You just use candlesticks for you to see. For example, ISA Katana, for those in sell, as the recommended SL. If, for example, you want to look for a sell, we know that, let's switch to M5. We know that this is a strong seller zone. So if we are looking for a sell, we could either wait for it to come here or enter here, because our SL is fixed. Our SL might be above the zone, so could be here, for example. So for example, if it's in the zone, at least it's just 10 pips away from our SL. But if we want to enter here, it is almost 30 pips away. Okay, so some people, they can enter over here, but they enter very small lot, and then it goes higher, enter small lot, small lot, small lot, then it falls. But for some people who are waiting for only sharp entries, they have to wait. If it doesn't come to the zone and it falls, then they don't enter anything. Okay, so for it to fly, it has to break this SL. It breaks this level, it will fly to the next zone, because this purple zone is a strong level that it cannot break. For it to fly, fall, cannot break. If it breaks, it will fly to the next zone. Yes, usually it's always posted. All the classes are posted. All the classes are posted. Can you guys open Telegram right now? Open Telegram and and at the class link, can everyone say something? Say I'm here, or I attended, I'm in the class, because I want to see who in the Telegram group joins, so I know who joins and I know who does not. So at least put in the class link at the latest comment. Just put I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, or I'm in the class, so I know who is attending the class. At least when you guys message me, I know who attends. Okay, for example, this one, after it breaks this 1855 over here, it will have a big push in the zone. But if it cannot break this 1855, it will have trouble going up. Okay, and M15 just opened. So for example, M15 just opened, we need to see M15. When we see M15, we know that this is a red candle. For it to even fall, it has to break this opening, this M15 opening here. If you see H1, it's almost on the opening of the H1, so it's the same spot. So in M5, it cannot break this level. So for example, yeah, over here, cannot break, because right now it's at a strong resistance over here. If it breaks the box, the green box on top, you fly to the zone, the purple zone. But if it doesn't, you will come back to this smaller green zone and test. If it breaks, easily fall here. So that would be like easy 30 pips. Not on Zoom. Don't say on Zoom, I'm here. Say on the Telegram. So are you guys understanding what I'm trying to explain here? After you label in bigger time frame, you go lower and lower time frame and filter the zones. Okay, once you filter, it probably should look like this. For example, this is the strongest zone, second strongest, strongest buying zone, second strongest. Over here is just minor zones, just to understand small movements. Any questions, guys? Questions. Say something, questions. Any questions you want to ask? Okay, good question. What are the confirmations you look before entering? For example, this one. This one, there's two possible. You want to find for a sell in this zone, or you want to aim for a buy. But since we know this selling zone is quite huge, this selling zone is quite huge. So if it breaks this place where it caused the fall here and the fall here, 1855, it will definitely go here. So technically, if I were to buy right now, for example, I can buy anytime actually. I can enter anytime, but you need to know worth it areas. For example, I know since it has been testing today and the volume of buyers is so high, so it's better to look for buys. Okay. So after I know, for example, like this, I want to enter. I know that it cannot break back this area. If not, it will come to the bottom area. Over here, if it comes here, it's just 10 pips. But the bottom would be almost 20. So my SL can be either way. Like just now, I told you to buy here. Correct? Remember over here? It already moved 20 pips. But our SL was how much just now? 10 pips only. You guys understand? So this one, it would come up to this selling zone. If seller starts to enter, it will fall. But I don't think it will just enter straight away fall, because you have to think, buyers are so strong since earlier today. So even if they enter a strong sell zone, maybe it will fall a bit and then go up easily. Fall a bit, go up easily. Fall a bit, go up easily. Then you will decide to break up or fall. So you have to know that if you are looking for a sell, you don't expect immediate drop. But buying, you don't expect it to immediately fly. You should expect immediate fly, because if it takes too long, it might want to fall. So over here, it cannot stay too long. Maybe maximum until here. Until here, maybe. It should break at that distance. For example, here. I want to show. For example, from here to here, how many candles would be? Maybe 10 candles. So, or 20 candles. So in this 20 candles, it should fly. If it doesn't, it has a chance to fall. But now, if we entered just now, over here, already put break even over here, and it already fly 20 pips. If it can just break this higher high, that one, we can easily fly. It just needs to break this one. This zone. Because we know that zone seller enter. If it comes back to this zone, seller don't enter, easily you'll fly. For it to fall, let's see H4. Even if it falls, guys, for example, you have to think logic. This H4 is new H4. Even if it falls, it has 15 pips only. So if it cannot turn red, it will not fall. You understand? So right now, this is a buying green candle. As long as it doesn't break the opening, our SL is just fixed. It's over here. Okay, 20 pips. If it breaks this zone, boom, 80 pips, like this. Like this. It opened here, broke here until here. So technically that's already how many pips? 60. So same thing. This one would easily have pressure until here. If it can break this 1857 easily, it will fly. Okay, are you guys following? Understand? Okay, it came to the green zone, green box. After it break this box, easily it will fly. Like the candle would just fly. Usually it's like that. Because it's already in the middle of the chart. It's approaching another strong resistance spot on top here. So this candle would poop just like that. Should be. Okay, let's see this candle. Let's see, does it poop like that? Because right now we can see that from this opening to this rejection here, there's a seller. Right now it's approaching the maximum seller zone here. After it reaches the price above it, boom, it will just burst up like this, okay? It already reached above, see? Boom, boom, see? So I hope you understand. Now it will come to this area. So people who are thinking to sell, okay, right now. For example, your label, you say want to sell because your SL would be here, 10 pips away. But you have to think, even if you sell from here, your maximum is until here, 30 pips. So your SL would be 10 pips for 30 pips maximum, because the opening of H4 is over there. But if this H4 from here just now, it break this SL here, easily you fly here. So 100 pips in total from down here. So that's why if we were to sell, so it's not this candle. You have to wait for the next H4 candle. So maybe at 10 p.m. or 2 a.m. it will U-turn. Maybe U-turn over here. Over here or here, it will U-turn. So now, this candle, it will not straight away fall. So people are selling. Those who are selling, they are just selling, and they are definitely going to hit SL very fast, because all the big buyers are just holding buys. They have been holding buys, holding buys, holding buys. So this one come here, then they TP. Once they TP, there will be a rejection. You guys understand the concept? For example, $500 account. Layering, you just have to know your SL. For example, how far is your SL to your position? Let's just take this purple zone as an example. For you to start selling in this zone, for example, you know SL is here, 20 pips. So if you keep enter 0.01 until 0.2, if it's 20 pips, it will just be $40. Okay. So the closer you take your entry to the SL, it's technically lower risk compared to the bottom. So for you to know how much to layer, it depends. Because for example, you have been selling small lots, then it suddenly reach up here, near to SL. Because we are playing small SL, 10 pips, but we can put a bigger one, depending on the person. So after you know your SL, for example, is 10 pips, and the M1 is very strong, if you sell, you can already calculate. You can put big lot. All your layers are 0.01, for example. Then over here, you put 0.3. It still can. So it all depends on your SL, how far, and how much you're willing to risk for that trade. If the trade is like this buying zone, you should risk some. But if the place is a buying zone like here, so of course, lower lots. We want in bigger zones like this. Of course, higher lots here compared to here. So you have to know where and how much is worth it for you to entry. How do you know that buyers are still holding? because once it already touched the bottom here and supported by this second fly, from here to here, how many pips? The first one, it broke and it fly until here, 250 pips. Second time, almost 250 again. So now it fell, buyers enter really fast, and then it buy. So people are aiming their STP to be here, around here. For those who are holding, they already can put BE or they can put a SL higher than the entry point, so they still get profit. Doesn't matter. For example, they can enter here and put SL over here, because as long as it doesn't break the support, it will not fall. If it breaks the support, it will fall here. So why they want to not take the profit? They can re-enter again once they come back to this zone. Okay, so that's why chances for people to hold the buys are higher, because the buy is very far away, 200 pips, but the sell is just until here, 50 pips. So who wants more, 200 pips or 50 pips? So there would be, of course, more buyers aiming, but the new traders or people with risky move, they would just sell here straight away. Now for it to fly, we know that, see, same concept. This one used to be resistance, it broke, fly. Then it cannot break the place it broke. So over here. So now we know that if it wants to fly, it has to break over here. If it breaks over here, boom, it will fly fast. It will fly fast until this, around this area, 1857 over here. If it can break this area, boom, definitely fly, easy. But if it cannot break, it will U-turn. Okay. So recap again, once you're done with your big time frame analysis, you go smaller and smaller and then start labeling your zones to understand M5, M1 movements. So sometimes you can use M30 and label all the important ones in M30 and then switch to M5 and see all the important ones. Does it respect? For example, here, fell over here, fly over here, fly over here, fell, fly. So we know that this one is very accurate. It's either buy or sell. But if we trade in this middle zone, it could be sell or buy. Meaning it can easily come down here and then buy, or it can go up and drop. So when we take this place, our SL is fixed. If it cannot break, confirm it will fall. If it cannot break here, confirm it will fly. So we want to be trading in this kind of zones. Like right now, it cannot break this. See, our line, it 100% came to the line and touched back. So if we were looking for this sell, SL would be here. But if you take for this sell, it's just not that nice, because the maximum would be 40 pips. From here, maybe 40 pips. Yeah, that would be the maximum. And then it will either reject up or break down. But people who took the buy, the potential, if it breaks here, boom, 200 pips, 100 pips. For example, this one, M30 just opened. See, this M30, problem is the opening is far from this one, correct? So for it to come to the opening, it has to break the average in the middle. So right now, this sell, if we were to sell, the closest area that it has to come is here, 10 pips only. If it cannot break this 10 pips, it will fly again over here. But if it can break here, okay, it can fall 40 pips. Cannot break this 10 pip zone, cannot fall. Clean lines for exactly where, because I don't want to use the zone, the rectangle box. So when I put lines, I know that you cannot break that line. Very already set in my mind, cannot break that line. But if you put a zone, sometimes you say, oh, it still can, it still can. No. If you put a line, it's the maximum limit. If it breaks, then you have to re-strategize. What are the plain lines for? What's the sign that it breaks? The candle does separate from each other. That's the break. I'm not understanding what you're saying, Andrea. Okay, this one. Okay. Once it comes here, see this M1. Oh, okay. Over here also got U-turn. So you just have to break this one, then it can fall here. But if you cannot break this one, it's gonna have a hard time falling. See, when it comes this one, it's deciding to fall or to come back up. It has to decide at this level. Are you guys following? What I'm telling you is not, it's the class. I'm telling you all the labelings, all this is the class, the M1, M5 understanding. Okay, like right now. As long as it doesn't break this one, it has a chance to reject. It breaks this one, it falls to here, opening. Are you guys following? Are you guys writing notes or anything, or labeling the charts also? Do something also. Okay. Okay. See, when we labeled our line just now, how accurate was that line? It touched immediately and it fall. But now, if it wants to fall, it has to break the line, which we have also over here, 1855, because this is the selling zone. So it has to come out of the selling zone to fall. So for it to come out, it has to break this 1855 line, which is over here. As long as it doesn't break here, which is technically close to the opening of this big candle. So it breaks this one, it will come back down here. Okay, if we took that buy just now when we were discussing, would have taken about almost 30 pips for a 10 pips SL. Writing notes, she is come down sell. How can one use the phone in creating this? Okay, Sunday. So maybe tonight I'll record analysis using my phone. Then maybe you can see how I analysis on the phone. All right. But you guys prefer black background or white background? Who prefers black? Who prefers white? Can you guys type? I just want to know. Majority likes which one actually? White or black background? White, black, 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 black. See, I think yeah, black is best. White. I'm just waiting for people to say white because I want to know how many people want white. But mostly likes black. Yeah. Doesn't hurt the eye. Doesn't matter. Correct. Because if white, I feel like it's too white. Haven't seen white. Okay, Nasha, have you watched all the other videos? Have you attended last class? See guys, it just needs to break this line here for it to fall. Right now it come, touch, but it rejected. Any questions, guys? Because you guys haven't practiced. I don't know who's practicing, who's not practicing. You guys have to practice for you to experience the effect. For example, what you should do as a person if you that day open the chart and then analyze, and you create a hypothesis. At the end of the day, you can check if it's true or false. If it's true, and the next day, if it's true, you have created a strong understanding for you to succeed in trading. But if you don't do anything, for example, you learn a lot, but you don't do any analysis. So when you have a lot of hypotheses in your head, even though you learn, it is all theory and hypothesis. So if you learn from person A, they give you A hypothesis. You learn from person B, B hypothesis. How much you learn also until Z also, if you don't test out, you will never know how much true is this, how much true is this, how much false is this. So maybe A only have 5. If you do for example 20 times, only 5 get correct, and then fail 20 times out of 20, fail 15 times. Maybe B gives you 15 of 20, maybe C gives you 1 out of 20, Z gives you maybe 10 out of 20. So once you know what works for your style, you have like a proof of hypothesis. So your understanding, your confidence, your setup, your entry would be all better. Okay, I hope you understand that. That's why you have to analyze. Even if you want to follow signal, so you have to analyze. So at least you know which signal would work and be nicer and the effect. But if you don't have a lot of hypotheses in your head, you don't even know the signal would be very nice to put big lot or small lot or whatever. Okay, you're right. The more we practice, the more we'll be able to apply for trading. Using a line means you can tell the exact price. How do you do that without shading the entire zone? You want to label a line, you just need to see it did not break our zone here. See, rejected. So now this is seller zone, but it needs to break this zone to come out of the seller zone, so it falls. So now it's deciding. To put a line, you press these shapes here. Then you press add object, you put horizontal line. See? Then you can see the price at the right side here. How much is the price? Any more questions? If it can break this line, it will fall until here, around here. Because this is resistance area, but it became a buyer area. So it will come here. It will either be a buyer zone or seller zone. What to use for line? Repeat that again. You just press add object and put horizontal line. You can choose the color at the properties. So that's it. Clear to me using M1 and M5 a lot. So is everybody clear about M1 and M5? Do you guys understand what to do? From the first week, you guys understand or not? Second week, you guys understand or not? Third week, you guys understand or not? You have to mix this knowledge together. For example, week 1, week 2, week 3. It's all building up your knowledge on I would say correlating each subject together. So meaning understanding multi-time frame will give you good movement understanding. Okay, good movement understanding. This is number 1. Number 2, knowing high reaction zone. gives you good zones. So once you know the movement at the zones, you would know where to enter at the good zone and looking at the movement. Number 3 would be today, which is M1 and M5, would be mixing both HRZ and movement. What is the confusion that you respect or you will break SNR? You just have to understand the movement is fine. Because the movement you would know based on H4 opening, it opened where, how much has it moved, how far. Because you have to see each time frame to understand. For example, this one. Can you imagine this candle is so huge, meaning from here a lot of buyers enter. So it means it could be big sharks and investor. Boom. When it touch here again, boom. And then this one, for example, you were thinking resistance. Why wasn't it strong resistance? Because you have to include what happened before, which was strong buyers, reject, strong buyers again. So when it come to the zone, you think you can just invincibly say people are going to sell, but proven people are buying. So you have to align with your understanding and decision making. So better buy, because if it breaks here, at least a stronger sell zone is up here from this zone or this zone. You guys understand? Any confirmation candles are engulfing? Technically, engulfing is just the same as our zones that I taught you. Technically, for example, here, this is engulfing, right? This is engulfing zone. So when it comes back to this zone, you can buy. So technically, it's the same as my opening here, opening until week. Opening until week is a buying zone. For example, here, this is engulfing. Okay, let's just pick this one. This is engulfing zone, right? Engulfing. But we don't even need engulfing zone because we know that the price fell from here, fell from here, fell from here, fell almost around here. So when we label this zone already after filtering in smaller time frame, we know that it's a strong sell zone. So engulfing is just a shortcut way to know. It's the same as our way, but our way, at least we label exactly where the price are at, what happened, things like that. Same as engulfing. You can use engulfing, but use the flow I teach you. Meaning open, big time frame, engulfing, small time frame, small time frame, small time frame, and filter your engulfing. You understand? It's the same. I am now clear. Thank you. Yes, welcome. Any confirming? Okay. So is there anything else, guys? If there's nothing else, I think we can end for today first, and you guys practice on your M1, M5. Because now it's just after we label, it's all waiting. Because you just have to wait. When it comes here, we see the pattern, see if it rejects or not. Over here, I don't think it's going to reject because this is H4 opening down here. As long as it doesn't break it, this one doesn't have any sellers, stronger buyer. That's why I'm just telling you guys, it would definitely come to this point here. So you guys screenshot this and then put these zones on your phones or whatever. And then you guys learn this M5, M5, M1. Because M1, for it to fall, for example, over here, it created a fall here. So the zone would be here. We can label. Don't be shy on labeling your own chart. Don't be shy. Because there's no one going to be scolding you if you label too much. As long as it doesn't confuse you. I know that this is a U-turn place. And over here caused the buy. Correct? The candle. So it's right now playing in this blue zone. So if it wants to fly higher, has to break this one. If it cannot break this one, it will come here. So it's playing in this blue zone until it decides to fly or drop. Okay. But for you to know fly or drop, you just have to make sure you understand in different time frame. Right now, this time frame is not even red. If it wants to fall, it has to fall, for example, 20 pips first, and then break this one and start falling. So maybe for it to do that, another candle open H4, it will create the candle engulf. Because usually if the chart wants to fall at a strong place, it takes two candles. One go up to the zone, one fall. For example, it comes to a buying zone. One fall, one open. Okay, like this one. Next one would be red. So this one is already green. So the chances for it to straight away become red could be there, but most likely not. Okay, the probability is lower. For it to fall straight away, maybe it wants to fall here. So it will just go higher and then open the next red one, fall a bit, the next red one, retest and fall. Could be like that. Clear, Joe. Do you use day one? Just now I started from weekly Forex. Were you not in the class just now? Thank you. I just need to buy a laptop, then I see this clear. Yeah, Ronnie. Or you can just buy an iPad. Or if you want to learn from your phone, you can. You just have to be more careful because you have to make sure you see all the areas. Sometimes you might mislook, you know. Talk more about the candle opening and closing. I did talk a lot Kiniri on my previous lesson. Try to check all the previous lessons. There are candle opening and closing, very detailed one. Joe, so what is the tsunami zone? If you were to choose two zones, would be this one here and the red one here. But this could be also, could be strong. This 1, 2, 3. But this could travel 100 pips and test this one. So this could be a tsunami buying zone also. But it needs to break this 1857 area. See, right now, it's coming back again. Okay. If it breaks this one, like just now, when we were discussing earlier, it will have a big push up. Okay. So let's just wait a few minutes and see. Because H1 is opening. You see, you turn here at the blue box, you turn here at the blue box. It's just playing like how I told you, playing in this box range. Until it breaks this one or it breaks this one. Either one. This is Joe. This is Joe. Jack is not. Jack is in a meeting. So he's not here today. Last class he was there with me. Okay. Because H1 is opening. So all this movement would just be sometimes random a bit. But we can predict where is H1 opening. So H1 might open and it could be red. But even if it's red, it needs to travel 40 pips and you will have trouble there. But I think it might be a slow one. Just playing in this zone for 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, then you fly or fall. Could be. Because right now the movement is just stuck. It's very slow now. So I think it's just going to take some time. I'm going to break this one, come here. But the end of the day, I think it's going to be moving to the high zone here. But it could come back down a bit and then come here. Don't end the class, Joe, until it breaks 1857. All right. Hi, Joe. When you're buying, selling from certain zone, how do you set TP1? So usually TP, if you were to know, you just have to already label your zones. You know that, for example, you sell, take a sell here. You know that if you cannot break this here, it will not fall here. So we can TP here, 50 pips, or here. But how to know exactly where to TP? You should, for example, open M5. You know, over here, after it fall, the first U-turn would be around here. You see, U-turn around here and here. So we know that if we sell there, maybe first TP would be around here, 30 pips, 40 pips. But if it breaks this one, we can hold until here. But when it break, it cannot break back here. If it break back here, it could fly back like this. Yep, see, it broke. So now might come back to this one. Okay, could probably come here. So if had taken the sell, would have been from around here. SL would be 10 pips. Right now would be 20 pips. But could fall until 30 maximum. But the buying one would be 200. That's why the selling one here is not that worth it, because the day earlier today, all buyers are entering. So for it to switch to seller straight away down here, it's hard. So even it falls, easily buyers enter, it will easily come up because there's a lot of buying zones. Selling zones are very less. So yeah, 20 pips. Now it's at the first small one here, but this one is very small, so I feel like it can easily break up. What are those plain lines for? The plain lines, how many times you want to ask me? Plain line is for to know which level it cannot break. But some people use it just to label important areas or whatever. Up to you on how you use your line. The red lines which are not in the zone, maybe it's just a line to know where it has to break. For example, even if I can put a line anywhere. I just want to put here. But I don't want too many lines. So sometimes I just put more rectangle box, small ones like this one. Okay, now see when it come here around this area here, somebody push back. So now it will have trouble here. If it cannot break here, it will come back down. So you play from green to green. But if you break back up here, you play from blue to blue. So that's why just now when somebody asked me where to TP, for example, we enter here, we already know we labeled the first buying zone would be around here. So it's already 10 pip. If they want to TP, the next area would be here, which is about almost 30 pips. What to use for rectangle box? Up to you. You can use for a lot of things. Sometimes rectangular box you can use for labeling zones or labeling engulfing areas, or you want to label like this also can, just to know this candle zone, for example. From here down here, it flew until here, right? So this is the first zone. Then after it broke that zone, it fell until here. So we know that these zones, if it comes back in this zone, it can fall until here. So there are a lot of things you can use rectangle box with, but I just use for strong zones mostly, or small zones to label. Nah, Yasha, how many classes have you attended? Because that's a very basic question. How many classes have you attended? So for example, this one. Okay, this one, as you can see, opening candle, drop until here, you open here and drop. So the opening here is not inside the zone. It already broke this opening. So technically it's coming back to this support zone. So the opening is here. So sometimes it can easily break. But if the opening of this happened over here and fell far, it will be a strong place. But this one not so strong because the opening is here. And the next one is just here. So it's not on the support. The opening that caused the fall, not on the support. It's before the support. What tool? It's all the tools are in here. You can check. There's a lot. There's Fibo, I've taught Fibo, rectangle, there's triangle, even eclipse if you like to label it in weird way, like this. You can use, but it's just weird. See, it broke that one easily. Broke that one easily. So there's a chance it will just come back up to the blue box. Okay, so I hope you guys understand the movement. Now you just have to break this line on top here, 1857. It can break, you will fly easily. So do you think it's gonna fly up? Since it has some pressure, buying pressure, and it flew from the support really fast. If, for example, we were to enter now, okay? For example, we were to enter now. We enter here. Our SL would be here or here. So it would be, could be 15, 17 pips or 5 pip, 6 pip. But this one is a new H1 candle. So this candle just opened. This candle just opened and it's green. So technically, if it cannot break back the opening, it will not fall. Like how we said the H4 just now. So technically our SL is here. Here. So we entered here. Just 10 pips. For it to fly, you just have to break here. We cannot really know when, but this could be the one. Could be. Because it's very volatile after it touched down here, very volatile and approaching. But you just need to break this line, 1857. Okay, for example, if somebody were to enter over here, if they enter over here, they have to know their SL would be here, 15 pips. But if somebody entered here just now, after it retraced, SL would be here, 10 pips also. Andrea, why? Are you buying, Andrea? Oh, you can't see my screen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Okay. If you're in buy, Andrea, for example, there's 2 SL. For example, you are opening small lot or big lot. How much lot are you opening? Let's calculate for Andrea. Small. Okay. For example, you open 0.01. Okay. Your account size is? Your account size is? Okay, $100. So for example, if you enter 0.01 here, it's very small because even if it takes 100 pips, it's only $10. So imagine if you buy here, it falls until here. It's only 100 pips, $10. So technically, we know we're not going to hold until here. So if you are opening small lots, of course, this is the next zone. But we know this is the next zone, 20 pips away, that it cannot break. So if you are opening very small lot, you can just put SL here. But you can put your SL here, but we might maybe decide to cut manually, but our limit is here, for example. So it means $2. But if it fly 100 pips, you get $10. So it's worth it. For example, now, even you can put your SL here, because if it already U-turn here very strong, it cannot break around this area. But we know that we already label our support would be down here, so better just put SL under the support here. So would be here, 1853.05. But it's very optional, because if you were to enter big lots, maybe you cut here. You understand? Yeah, 1853.05. Because see, 1853.05 is a place where it fall easily around here. See, fall really far. So if it comes back down here, it could fall really far. So that's why our SL is a place where it cannot fall, which is around here. But if you were entering big lots and you are trying to save amount of pips, you could cut here also, because the opening, if it wants to fly straight away, it cannot break back the opening here, correct? Yeah, so it depends. Very, very subjective matter. Okay, but it's good, Andrea. At least you try and experience what it feels like. But right now, it just has to break these blocks. See, when it come here, has some trouble also. A very nice class. Isa Katana. Okay, so right now, it's just gonna play in this blue box or this blue box until it breaks one of them. Just now it broke, but when it broke, it was nearing a buying zone, push really fast up, and at this place, the blue zone, boom, big candle. So at this blue zone, confirm we know that there's a buyer area here. As long as it doesn't break around this area, from this area to here, this area, as long as it doesn't break, it's gonna push the price up. Okay, but if it breaks, fall. All right. So yeah. Any questions, guys? Any questions? But maybe around 7 to 9 p.m. it's a little bit slow. At 10, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 could be very volatile, because usually gold at that around that time would be very, very volatile in 3 hours from now, because a new H4 candle. Because this one, if we see, if a new H4 candle open here, it could cause a red candle and retrace until here, correct? But if it doesn't break this opening, it could fly. So that's why our SL is down here. It's below the opening. All right. I joined your class late. How do you color your rectangles too? How do I change the color or what? Perfect as always. Thanks a lot. Why is the movement very volatile when new H4 is about to open? Because usually H4 on average, maybe one H4 candle usually could travel around 100 pips. Let's see this size. If I put here, see, almost 100 pips. If I put here, yeah, see, almost 100 pips here. So I put here 100 pips. So when the new one open over here, it could make the 100 pips fall like this into the strong buy zone. Or it could make 100 pips to the selling zone, the next H4. Because this H4 already traveled quite far. Right now, it shouldn't go lower, but how high can it go? It depends on this one. So we want it to go higher. That's why we want it to break. But if we cannot break, the next candle, we decide a fly or a drop, or just a very small movement like that inside. A very small movement like that until we decide to break up or break down. But I think it could fly to test the higher sell zone. Because see this daily candle technically already touch this one. See, this one touch and fall at this 1857. This one also touch and fall at 1857. So if it breaks 1857, boom, definitely go here. Because see, this one all got weak inside the box here. After it reject, then it drop down. Then this one drop down, burst up. This one open, burst up. So tomorrow, if it opens here, could be a red one, or could be green. So over here, you can see a big movement tomorrow if it opens here. See, it's still stuck. Still stuck in our blue zone. Almost arrived, bounce back up. So it's gonna take some time. So what we should put for TP now? Since you open 0.01, your SL 20 pips, maybe the first zone that it would come and test, you can put your TP here. Because I don't know if it's gonna come up here and break straight away or come up here, reject, and then fly again. So let's just take the first. So it is 1860.19. Should be there. 1860.19. Yeah, but or you could not put a TP. It's okay, Andrea, up to you. If you don't want to put a TP, let it fly first over here, then you put break even. Then how far you can fly depends on how much you want to TP. Because this one could come here or it could break. But I think it's just going to come here tonight. I don't think it's going to break straight away anyway. Any questions, guys? Or we can end the session for today. I hope you learned a lot on understanding M5, M1, like how we got the breakout here, like how we say cannot break. And when we were talking, boom, it broke really fast. Remember? And then it fly. So would have gotten what? Oh, I think it was here. Yeah, 30 pips. Any questions? Any questions? Multiple time frame. Now, Sat, have you watched the multi-time frame video, the first week lesson? Oh, don't have colors. Okay, now I understand what's your question. So after you open your rectangle, at the side here, you hold, you press property, and then you click on fill. If you don't fill, it's empty in the middle. So you just change to fill. Beautiful class as always, Joe. Thanks, you are a born trainer. Thank you, PC. My rectangles don't have colors. Okay, I think I taught you. So I don't think anyone have any more questions. Okay, Andrea, just screenshot maybe and label the zones that I labeled here around this area so you can see the movement. So when you open F5 and you zoom out, you can see later on tomorrow or what, it bounces here, then it plays around all the important zone and it U-turn. This is Joe, not Jack. Next class, maybe I think it would be on, could be on maybe Sunday or this Thursday, but this Thursday would be too fast, I think. I need you guys to have some time learning first, practicing. And then we have our next class, maybe on Sunday, could be. Would it be better on weekdays or weekend? Can you guys type weekdays or weekend? Would be better. Weekdays. Because weekday, of course, you can learn and see the chart move. But on weekend, you can label and predict where the chart is going to go. So it's a different kind of analysis. You need to know both. KK is coming up, approaching. Okay, so this one, let's see if it can break. Come on, before we end, let it break. Let it break. Almost. Joe, can we see this lesson at a time? Yeah, it's recorded. Sunday night would be nice before market open. Yeah, could be. It didn't progress. It respected. So yeah, I think the sellers are entering now. The buyers are slowed down. So it's like reaching the limit. Could be that it could come back down here and then fly. So it's taking some time. Carlos Rip Gold is not here today, is it? What does engulfing candle really means? It's just engulfing is just a theory where wait, where did I put my Let me find my. Okay, found it. So engulfing would be like this. For example, this is the green candle going up, and then this one like this. Same scenario. Okay, engulfing. This one is not engulfing. This one is not engulfing because engulfing must be your green one, the bullish candle. When you pull from the opening to the closing, it gets engulfed by a bearish candle. So it means the red one eats the green one. This one, it didn't eat. Didn't even eat. Okay. So for this one, it has to be like this. Then it eats. That is engulfed. Okay. This one not engulfed. This one engulfed. So for example, this place is engulfed. You see this red candle bearish, it got eaten by the green one. So this one is engulfing. So usually zones engulf, it respect. For example, we can take, for example, let's just take this one. For example, this zone. You see engulf, right? The red one, and then the green one engulf. This is called engulfing buy. So meaning engulf and then it goes up. So this zone, it cannot break back when it comes back. See? When it break, it becomes sell. So what do people use with engulf usually? If you see in currency, first we just open GU here. Okay, this one, for example. We know that this one engulf, right? It's an engulfing zone, engulfing cell. So this one engulfing cell, but when it came, it didn't sell. It broke. And then it broke. So it becomes over here an engulfing buy. But when it come in this zone, it broke. So it becomes an engulfing cell again. So it's the same as the zone. But engulfing is just a name to it. Not really important, I would say. Just understand how we analyze. It's going to be easy. It's going to be the same as engulfing. Yeah, so it's still stuck. Anything else, guys? Nathaniel. Quite hard to say your name. Do you understand what engulfing means? Yeah, so engulfing is the candle before or after eats. The candle after eats the previous candle. If it eats, it's an engulfing zone. So people would be, usually they have some formula. If you see engulfing buy, and the next time it comes, engulfing buy again. The third time it comes, you can buy. For example, if we see here like this. This one engulfing buy, right? When it comes, it broke a little because this candle also have gap. See, got market gap. It tested the opening to the wick and then U-turn. Then it fly over here at the engulfing buy. So technically it's the same as opening candle to the wick. So better just understand what I teach you. So it's already shortcut. Why would we want to bother engulfing? It's just messy. And it's a bit more, you have to focus on the engulfing. So I don't really like it. Like for example, this one could be engulfing also, but it took 2 candles to engulf. 2 candles, then it broke. So when it comes back to the engulfing sell zone, it cannot break. See, couldn't go higher. Then it fall. So in the future, if it comes back, the same. Cannot break this zone. Then fall. See, cannot break this zone. So it's almost similar for the one who asked the question. Please, what information can we get from the current M15? We know that the current M15 touch the zone, but the opening of this new previous M15 opens at our zone and fly really fast. So we know that you cannot break this one. Breaks this one, confirm you go down here and maybe even lower. So even if we are buying, our SL would be here, maximum. But sometimes that one is for big lots. Smaller lots could just put SL here for the confirm close in blue. So are you guys understanding M1 and 5 class today? Can you guys share some understanding a bit? If you guys understand, or it was too complicated or hard, or it was just easy and easy to understand. Can you guys tell me a bit so I know? Awesome, thanks. What else? What else? Yeah, so at least a day, you can do 3 analysis. Why not, you know? Why not do 3? Because even if you open one right now after the class, for you to label from weekly until HM5, maybe since you guys are still new and take some time to understand, maybe maximum is going to take you 20 to 30 minutes, right? Or maybe, no, not even 20 to 30, maybe 10 minutes of fully understanding, talking to yourself. What zone is this? Is it strong buy zone? Talk to yourself a lot. Maybe 10 to 15. So imagine you just spend 30 minutes a day. You already have 3 analyses. And out of the 3, how many get correct? If get correct, you say get correct. If break, okay, correct, it broke. So you just make that journal. When you have this, at least you know your winning rate and what you have to improve, what's your weakness, what's your timing. Maybe every time you trade at 2 p.m., you would fail. So you have to figure out what timing is giving you trouble, because there are times where the trend shifts. Usually around 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., there's going to be a shift, either continue up or continue down. Maybe around 9 to 11, got one more, up or down. And 9 to 11 a.m. is just one up or down. So you have to know. Can you give us the shift times in GMT? So right now, iPhone, what time is it on your time right now? What time is your time right now? 3:28 a.m. or p.m.? p.m. So it means in another 2 hours and a half, so in another 2 hours and a half, 2.5 hours, for me it would be okay. At your 6 p.m, a new H4 candle will open. And that is when I'm, in my time, it's night time. So at night time, so it means around your time, 5 to 7 p.m, there is going to be a market shift, okay, up or down. And for your time, at around 1 p.m. to no, because I'm calculating your time. 1 p.m. to not 1 p.m. Your time at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. there's gonna be up or down, very strong. So yeah, for me, around this time, my 9 a.m. is not nice because the chart is gonna be slow. I like it at 2 p.m. So for you, my 2 p.m. is your 9 a.m. and your evening session is my night session. Whoa, I cannot calculate for everyone. You just see this reference. Okay. This person, his time is 3:30 just now. So my time is 7:30. So what I'm saying in this one is for his time. In 2 hours and a half, a new H4 can open, and you guys just keep plusing 4 hours to know. Yeah, everyone time is so different. I cannot calculate for everyone. Too many. Okay. So this one, M30 just open. This one, when it opens straight away, it's red. Okay, see. So this one we know cannot break here. Cannot break this green one. If it breaks, confirm you'll fall until here. So you can, if you were trading, you can focus on cutting over here, around here. But if it wants to fly, just have to turn green a bit, easy. It will come back to the blue zone on top. Okay, so this M1 shouldn't come lower around this area, shouldn't. Yeah. Any question, guys? Great class. I think you're being so kind, Paul. It will be greater if everyone do their homework, analysis, and ask more questions. It would be nicer. I did. I took 3 times buy and 1 time sell. I think I took the first buy around here. I think yesterday, and I hold it overnight, then it flew. And then I TP'd over here, I think. Then I took another buy around here, I think. Then I TP'd around here. Then I think I took a sell here. I TP'd here. Yeah, that's it. I only traded 4 times, I think. Because I flipped today and yesterday, I already flipped how many percent? I think almost 400%. So that's why I already stopped. No questions, but I don't want you to leave. Because I don't want the recorded video to be too long. That's why. In case you have trades, share them to me. Technically, I am sharing you this buy. Because I know it has so much chance for it to come to the higher sell zone on top there. As long as it doesn't break our red line. Okay, so guys, make sure you spend time at least like 30 minutes, you know, for 3 setup a day, not that hard. And then do this in order. First HRZ and then multi-time frame and then M1, M5. Yeah, just keep on doing it. Okay, this one. Right? So I'm going to continue just be online with you guys, but I'm going to end the recorded session, okay? Flipping account setup. Okay, can, but I just end the video first because I don't want it to be too long. Okay, since I want to explain. So after a while, it has been playing the blue box, drop down, easily push up, then it maintained above this blue box. Now it has to break the green box to fly, then it entered the blue box. Now exactly broke this level 1857. So right now it's either it's gonna fly straight away high or it's gonna get stuck at this level again. If it breaks this level, 100% it will fly far. Potentially 200 pips, but we're just aiming for 60, 70 pips would be already nice enough. If we were to enter just now here, SL would be here. Maybe 10 pips away. Because here it would be 5 pips. Because I did tell a few people just now in the class, could enter buy from here, I think. Yeah, so there are people right now holding the buy. So are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? You can get one signal from you to flip our account, then continue normal from there. What a lot size should I use for 250? 250 would be, it all depends on how much you're willing. See, let's go guys. So technically just now, you guys already achieved 20 pips. So like this, when you already enter, you can just put break even. Just like that. Right now, see, it U-turn exactly at our line 1857 here. Because we know that line, we already labeled and calculated that it could be a resistance. Not sure when we labeled that. We know that this one we labeled as a SL, remember? If it breaks this level, it will fly. So this one is the final level it has to break. Okay. Do you guys see, if we were to take the sell in the zone just now, our SL would have been here, 10 pips away, and it has fell for 25 pips. So technically, if we entered here, our SL just 10 pips away, didn't break, it will fall. But this one, definitely I'm aiming for a higher position because the opening of H4 was here. Even if you want to sell just now, it could drop until here and then it's going to be tough. So if we want to fully fall, it needs to be a new H4 candle. And I don't think it's going to open in 2 hours around here, maybe here. So all depends. If next 2 hours it maintains this zone, maybe the next one could be a red one. But for now, it's still a green one. I'm focusing on the green. What would be proper buy stop point? If you want to put a buy, why didn't buy just now? Why you guys decide after it flies to this side? Because even if we buy now, the SLV one is over here, so it will be 20 pips SL. Not nice lah. Because if we enter here, our SL would be here. Because if we enter over here on top here, our SL is 20. Even if it fly to the next red line on top here, it would be 30 pips. So technically you're risking 20 for 30, not nice. Just now when I asked you to, it's because you're risking 5 pips for 70 pips. Would be worth it. So it still works both ways. If you were to sell, can sell, SL is here. But why we don't sell? Because H4 is a bullish candle and it looks like it's not going to U-turn now. Maybe another H4 candle, not this H4. So that's why we're not taking the sell. But if we were to take the sell, could be here SL. But I don't think it's going to be a good option to take a sell because today clearly buyers are pushing the market. So now, for example, if we sell straight away here, SL would be here because it's in the zone. If it comes back in the zone, you just have to break this green average. You would come back down here. So it would be almost 20 pips. So I hope you can understand. Yeah. Same, a little bit different, depends. I'm very picky in my zones. Right? So it break, touch here. What zone we cannot break like this one? You cannot break the red line here. Like this one, U-turn. So this red line, it can U-turn. But if it breaks lower here, definitely it will drop onto here. Because right now it's still a valid buy because it didn't break the red line here. Okay. So I think that's it for today. All right, guys. Just wanted to re-explain what happened here because we were waiting for that spike buy. For example, 2.5 hours ago, I think somebody bought from here, right? Would have been almost 40 pips. All right, that's it. Awesome, Joe. Thanks again. Thanks again, Paul, for joining every class. Today's class, a few people are missing. Rip Gold, Carlos, a few people, yeah. All right. Welcome, welcome. Have a good day, everyone. Please practice and label. Welcome, welcome. See you guys. Joe speaks like a doctor. It won't kill you, but it might kill you. We appreciate you. I appreciate you as well. So like this, see? You didn't break the blue box, you turn back. So it's just gonna play in the blue box here. It has to break this line on top here or break this line on top here for a big movement. Until it's broken, you'll just keep around playing. So if you guys want to put a sell stop, could put here, but SL would be 10 pips like this. Want to put buy stop here, SL will be here. So it all depends on strategy and style, you know. It's all the same. As long as the zone is right, it's fine. Class was awesome. Thank you, Sam. See you guys. So I'm gonna end. Thank you for attending.